Now, we have all heard about the end times and the end of the world. The cartoonish depictions in the book of Revelation aside, a main source of this idea comes from Matthew 28:20, where Jesus says, "I will be with you even to the end of the world." However, in the King James Version, world is a mistranslation, among many mistranslations. The actual word being used is eon, which means age. I will be with you even to the end of the age, which is true, as Jesus' solar Piscean personification will end when the sun enters the age of Aquarius. The entire concept of end times and the end of the world is a misinterpreted astrological allegory. Let's tell that to the approximately 100 million people in America who believe the end of the world is coming.
The movie makes claims that the King James Version of the Bible has many mistranslations, such as the word world is really eon, which means age. The term used is pronounced eon. If the King James Version is so incorrect, why is Zeitgeist using it? The only possible reason would be to make a more general attack on the reliability of the translation, or so that they can spin words and mistranslations however they please. The film implies that Jesus is saying Jesus' age of Pisces ends, as the age of Aquarius begins, and that therefore the idea of the end of the world is a misinterpreted astrological allegory. The term used is pronounced eon. It is true that the term means age. But contrary to the claims made by Zeitgeist, the term used in the passage also means forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, universe and even the worlds. So the fact is Matthew 28:20 can be translated as I am with you always, even to the end of the universe. So much for the claim that Jesus was not talking about the actual end of the world. It is clear that just because the term age is used in the New Testament, that does not indicate that it is therefore referencing the ages of the zodiac. As a matter of fact, the Greek word for age is used in several contexts in the Bible, where it would be ridiculous to suggest that the zodiac is being referenced.
As he said through his holy prophets of long ago. We do, however, speak a message of wisdom among the mature, but not the wisdom of this age or of the rulers of this age, who are coming to nothing.
It is interesting how the filmmaker dismisses the book of Revelation as cartoonish depictions, even though it contains the majority of the end-time predictions. It is no doubt because he could not draw a parallel between the zodiac and Revelation, only with Matthew 28. All of the filmmaker's biblical arguments work this way: he selects what agrees with him, but ignores everything else. The filmmaker also claims that Matthew 28 is the main source for Christian knowledge of the end times. Passages in Matthew 24, 2 Thessalonians 2, the book of Daniel, and of course Revelation are far better sources, but they do not contain the parallels that the filmmaker wanted to make, so they are ignored. Let's not forget that the King James Bible has 31,102 verses in it, and yet only a few are about the astrological connections between Jesus, God, the zodiac, and so forth. If the book is an astrological document, one would figure there'd be more. It is pretty obvious that the film, Zeitgeist, as well as many other Jesus mythos are willing to tie any reference in the Bible of fish to Pisces, any bull or calf to Taurus, or water to Aquarius, no matter how ludicrous these connections are. No reputable scholar would ever make such weak connections between the zodiac and the Bible. Despite the fact that Zeitgeist makes the claim that the Bible has more to do with astrology than anything else, the Bible actually discredits astrology and stargazing as acts of divination.
Surely they are like stubble. The fire will burn them up. They cannot even save themselves from the power of the flame. These are not coals for warmth. This is not a fire to sit by.
Also, the claim that Jesus is a sun god is also can be dismissed due to the Judeo-Christian opposition of the worship of both the sun and the constellation, which is shown in the Bible. 2 Kings 23:5 talks approvingly about Josiah, the king of Judah, who abolished such practices during his reign.
He did away with the idolatrous priests appointed by the kings of Judah to burn incense on the high places of the towns of Judah and on those around Jerusalem, those who burned incense to Baal, to the sun and moon, to the constellations, and to all the starry hosts.
Such passages are not what one would expect to find in a book that promoted astrology. Considering the fact that Judaism opposes sun worship, it is not likely for the first Christians, who were Jews themselves, to consider Jesus a god of the sun. Such a thing was against their religion. As I have mentioned before, the claims made by Zeitgeist, that Jesus is the Son of God, which is a play on words with son, are moot because this only works in English. And the Bible was not written in English. There is no evidence that Jesus was ever considered a solar deity, or that Christianity is based on the worship of the sun. Likewise, the connections that Zeitgeist attempts to make between the Bible and the constellations of the zodiac have no basis in what the biblical passages it refers to actually say. Every single case is taken out of context to support a view that no competent historian or scholar would ever endorse.